This parallel clamp holder for my fridge cleat wall is real simple to make. Holds 4 of these parallel clamps. Stick around and I'll show you how I did it. So this looks like a perfect size for what I need. It's just under 10 inches wide. And what I'm going to do is cut it into 8-inch strips and then cut those in half. And those will be my supports for my clamps. So I'll get busy on that over at the miter saw. Put my stop block up at 18 inches. And then I'll put my 10-inch spacer block in here. And now when I butt it up against here, I'll be making 8-inch cuts. Set it up at 45. Make sure it goes through the center point right here. That's where I want my 45 to go. I could use a track saw, I could circular saw, but I think I'll take it over to my table saw sled and use that. That way I can set up a jig, make it go a lot faster. Just gonna set my speed square up. Line this up as close as I can. Wipe it down. So now I'm going to cut the edge off, and for that I'm going to set the stop block so I get them all consistent. So I need to put a piece between these two. So how do I determine how wide that piece needs to be? Hanging like that. Need to make it at least 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches will actually work. 1.25 inches. So my stop blocks don't go to 1.5 inches, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way. 1.25 inches. I'll err on making it just a little bit big. Now I need them 8 inches long. If you've never seen this guy, it's pretty sweet for the miter saw. It's a tool to keep your fingers away from the saw on these short cuts. For years, I wouldn't hesitate to make that cut. But I had a piece bind on me a couple years ago and it really spooked me. So I would suggest not putting your hands anywhere near the saw blade. Even on a miter saw, it seems safe, but it's not. Get one of these 1.25 inch brads, more than enough to hold this together until the glue dries. Important to get this flush. You don't want it to mess with the cleat. Got a bunch of these scraps laying around, so that's what I'm going to use. Get just slightly less than 2 3/4. In theory, if everything's square, make this flush. This should sit level onto the French cleats. You don't want to put too much glue on here. You don't want any squeeze out down here. If you leave it on the cleat overnight, it'll glue itself to the cleat. Don't ask me how I know that. Squeeze out other places, but not where it's going to sit on the cleat. You don't want to drive nails too far down the cleat or the nails will come through and actually get caught on your cleat. So keep out of this area right here. Little cutoffs will come in handy. I'm going to put these at the bottom here. These are just supports. This doesn't span 2 rows of cleats, so this is going to lean up against the wall. Give it support. And normally I'd cut them all the way across, but these are cutoffs. They'll work just fine. Didn't really like the aesthetic of that. Either make it flush with the bottom and as wide, or took it up underneath a little bit. So I tucked this one up, made it a little further up, and it looks a lot better, I think. So your choice. Thanks for sticking around to the end. This 8 inches on top is I wish I would have made it 9 inches or so, but it holds 4 of them nicely. Be making a lot more French Cleat tool holders to fill this wall. So be sure to like and subscribe.